It's Friday, so that means it's time for a redraw. We're back at it again, still without a pop filter. I'm sorry, I forgot. But on today's episode of How Can I Yet Again Bite Off More Than I Can Chew, I did my best not to, but I did anyways. I really didn't want to go in order because next on the page that I had been working on was Christa, a centaur, and I did not feel like drawing a horse. But after unsuccessfully trying to get one of my cats to choose a drawing for me, or my husband to choose a drawing for me, I accepted my fate to continue drawing animals with fur/hair. Little did I know, I was going to make it much, much worse. But I felt optimistic. I used to draw horses a lot in elementary school. Not well, just a lot. And I once had a horse girl phase. And in the words of Karina from Drawfee, horses are God's himbos. So hopefully they're not smart enough to find my YouTube channel and be offended by my mediocre horse drawing skills. I ended up focusing on pictures of cobs, which apparently isn't a specific breed, but rather a body type. Very stout and sturdy horse with short legs. And if you watch carefully, I do stretch out the legs because my little brain wrinkles were like, something is wrong, when in reality I probably drew them fine the first time around. I do think it's still a very nicely sturdy, stout horse body though, despite my stretching it. I came across a picture of an Irish cob. I think that's what those horses are called. They've got like feathered heels and voluminous manes and tails. They're very fever dream bareback riding through a wildflower field horse vibes. So, of course I had to do that, and I think younger me would have been proud that I chose such a pretty horse. And as you know, I'm very into D&D, so instead of making her just a pretty princess pony, let's make her a pretty princess druid pony. And I stumbled across quite a few of these beautiful sort of milkmaid braid across the top of the head style updos, and seeing those pictures really sealed the deal for the rest of the design. Oh, I also realized I was drawing the hand backwards. I spent like 10 minutes sitting in my chair moving my hand around to try and see if I could make it look like that. But the answer is no, I could not because it's anatomically incorrect. So I just made her wave to the camera. Anyways, back on the rest of the design, I was keeping the signature basics from the original design. She's a centaur, she's blonde, with an updo. But other than that, I gotta be honest, I don't think Christa was well fleshed out at all in the original story. Honestly, I think she was a token centaur for monster/creature diversity. So, we should breathe a little more life into her. She deserves better. Enter Poland. To make a short story longer, my sisters and I are first-generation Americans. My mom immigrated from Malaysia and my dad from Poland, both sides bringing various traditions, clothing, and food into the family. Growing up in a multicultural family was a little bit different, but mostly pretty cool. Back to Poland. I've always loved the look of the traditional Krakowianka dresses. They feature bright colors, floral embroidery, beadwork, lace, big puffy sleeves, flower crowns, and pretty braids. What more could you want as a pretty Eastern European countryside druid centaur? Or as my file likes to call her, horse. The downfall of this drawing, and also the reason why the total footage was 7 hours, was letting myself work on the sketch over multiple days. Each day I came back with a new life and zest and vigor, and I kept adding more tiny details just to really solidify the Krakowianka Poland look. But yeah, I ended up sort of regretting that a little bit because tons of flowers and beads and little things to draw. OG Christa was big senior prom vibes, and now we have Chocha Christina coming to make sure you eat all your bigos. Chocha Christina is also a druid, I guess. And I mean, why not let her be a druid? I can definitely imagine her making wreaths and laurels and loving to collect beads, ribbons, and fabric. And I can imagine her embroidering like the little flowers she finds on her walks onto her clothing and apron. None of this dirt and leaf colored druid forest stuff anymore. Time for florals, time for mountain meadow druids, time for spring/summer druids, bursting at the seam with colorful flowers. Also, no, I've never watched Midsummer. If you can't tell, I'm just really into drawing fabric folds right now. I actually have a history of loving to draw flowing capes and billowing fabric. I did one drawing sometime in early high school, maybe, of the Winged Victory, which to this day, for maybe mostly sentimental value, continues to be one of my favorite sculptures. I remember being very proud of the drawing and carefully studying all the fabric and the way it flowed. And from that day, it was just me drawing lots of flowy fabric for all time. A lot of you very kind people left comments on my last video or messaged me saying that you appreciated the effort that I put into editing my video. And I loved all the comments and messages I got. They were all so kind, and it blew my mind that so many people genuinely enjoyed my dumb little brain ramblings put into Comic Sans and really bad doodles. So thank you, and I'm not saying this just because I'm horrible at accepting compliments, and I'm not saying this to try and make light of your comments either. But why wouldn't I put so much effort? Even if only 3 people saw my video, even if it was just my friends who watched it, as long as there's someone out there who is genuinely enjoying my content, and I'm still feeling happy and fulfilled when I make it, there's no reason that I wouldn't put my best effort into it, because you guys deserve content that makes you happy and that makes you feel like the person who's making it cares about what they're doing and cares about you. But again, thank you so much for your support and making my first video such a huge success. It really made me feel happy and fulfilled in a way that I wasn't getting from my art, or haven't been getting from my art for a while. So genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Okay, enough of me being sappy, back to the drawing. There are so many little details in the drawing, and I think I did a pretty okay job of capturing the look I was going for. The real secret to having drawn all these details without going absolutely crazy was mostly leaving things very implied and loose. Like, I never actually draw flowers. It's a lot of shading, implied petals, and I let your brain do the rest of the work. Which isn't to say that I didn't take a very long time to do everything anyways. It just took much less time than if I took the time to draw every single little petal, leaf, and outline. And they say that about when you're story writing too, that instead of answering all the questions and describing everything overwhelmingly in incredible detail, just don't answer the question. Publish your book. The nerds will come onto the forums and figure out the quote-unquote deeper meaning, and you can stand back and nod at their wisdom. I don't know, that's some old Tumblr post from like forever ago. I can't seem to find it again. The point is, leave things vaguely implied and let other people's brains do the rest of the work. While working on the flowers, I actually took a break in the middle because I got a cramp in my forearm from the repeated tiny movements of coloring the flowers. And by took a break, I mean I did my laundry, ate some cereal, pet my very cute cats, and refilled my water bottle. If I can even begin to try and remember the plot of the story where Christa, Victoria, and Wisteria are from, I think I initially put Christa into the prom gown because it was supposed to be creatures hiding their monster powers in daily human life. And the centaur just had to wear huge ball gown dresses everywhere because obviously she couldn't just fold up her horse legs and pretend to be human. No, and nobody suspected that the huge hump in the skirt was created by anything that wasn't one chonker of a bustle. One of my friends, after seeing the first video, called me out because they thought I was crazy for working on one layer. And if you notice, I actually did all my basic flats on different layers, which I don't think I did for Wisteria, but this time I did work on different layers, but then I merged them all down to one. I did keep a copy of the sketch layer, so I had a reference of like the original plan, but lately I've enjoyed this very painty style and approach to things. It's just like I don't have to worry about straight lines so much, or keeping things clean. The only thing I have to worry about really is making sure that the colors don't get too mixed when I keep using the eyedropper tool over and over. I don't know, it works. It's just, you know, can't draw on the wrong layer if you only have one layer. The crystal in the staff, I know it's only shown for a very short while, but I used a quartz crystal base as the inspiration for the shape, but then I put pink undertones because, I don't know, I was thinking of Poland, obviously, when I was drawing this, and I thought of Wieliczka, which is a salt mine, and it made me think of, like, the pinkish orange that salt crystals, like, have. I gotta be honest, there are some things that I don't love about the drawing. I think the ribbons looked very out of place waving in the wind, especially since I didn't make the scarf wave in the wind as well. I think I could have done better on the hair, maybe went a little more dramatic on the flower laurel thing over her horse back, with the shading and stuff. But there are also things that I'm extremely proud of, like the details in the skirt, the way the apron looks, the shading in the vest. So, pros and cons. You win some, you lose some. That's art, baby! And of course the hair, which I was getting very tired of drawing by this point. So if it looks a little lazy to you, I'm sorry. I gotta be honest, it probably was. I really wanted to get this done before Friday, and by the time I had by the time I was finishing drawing this, it was already Thursday. So yeah, it was mostly a regular speed draw video with some interesting, hopefully inspirational bits. Hopefully I wasn't depressing or too emotional, but thank you all so much for watching, for commenting, for subscribing and telling your friends, for watching the video or clicking on the link multiple times so I feel better about the number of views I have. I appreciate all of you so much, and hopefully I will see you all next week. Maybe. Who knows? Not me.